So towards the end of Quick Live, it's like Rapha has like, he's just like able to finagle the situation to always be out of your favor, no matter how he comes out of the situation. It's like, okay, he doesn't aim well, like he loses the fight or whatever. Uh, that he wouldn't go into a fight unless he had a better chance of winning it than losing it. Um, and then if he goes into the fight, he has an escape option. And uh, so if the fight goes bad for him, his escape option also puts him in a better situation than you would be if you do better than you should in the fight. And so Rafa will just wear you down like that. It's like, okay, you constantly have to outperform his expectations of how well you should do. Um, and um, in order to like eventually win the duel. And like his expectations are pretty close to what reality is of how fights should be in certain positions and stacks and like weapons and everything. And so that's the only way to beat Raph is to constantly outperform his expectations of how the fight's probability should play out. Um, whereas like um, so he was in QL at the end of QL he was always measuring the fights more correct than anyone else, not taking risks in the fights. He was always taking more advantageous fights, and then he always left himself options out of the fights that were better than anyone else. But he didn't have the best combat skills in the game. And then you go like nowadays, and Raph is like way better in combat skills than he was in. I mean, he was very strong in QL, but like he's like top tier. Like look at it. I don't know. QC maybe is like a little bit harder or easier to do damage in. But like if I think the last QC finals or whatever he played in, I just watched like some of that, and he he's like very comfortably hitting everything, um, like perfect combat skills. Uh, and so like now you just have like the all the brain game plus like top class combat skills. Like I don't know, it's like uncontestable really. And the thing about QC is it only takes combat skills. There's no real brain game to it. I mean, there's like a little bit amount, but like not to the extent of QL or like Diabotical. Um, so if Raph came to Diabotical, like I'm pretty sure he would be easily the best dueler. I don't know about the hang. I haven't watched him much. He'd be top class, but I don't know if he could be the best. Yeah, I think like Rafa's only weakness in QL has been resolved through like sheer amount of practice in QC to the point where he's just like I don't know what his weakness would be now. It's like the games I would take off of Rafa, the only way, yeah, is consistently outperform his expectations in the fights that he chooses to take with you. Um, that's the only way I was ever able to beat Rafa. But now that he is better at fighting than he was in QL, I don't know how you beat him. I honestly don't, and I guess no one else does because he's like stomping in whatever he duels in. Um, yeah, so that's my analysis on Rafa's duel style over the last 5.5 years, I guess.